This episode is brought to you by Patreon. Visit patreon.com/showboyspodcast today to learn how you can help support the show and unlock exclusive perks like bonus content, the ability to help choose topics, and even a chance to appear on an episode. Head over to patreon.com/showboyspodcast today. Hello, welcome to another episode of Showboys. My name is Mike, and I'm finally back on the podcast, which feels really weird. But here I am, and I'm joined.
It is weird.
Joined by Chad.
I'm here. Yes,
Chad and Dad. How you doing tonight, Chad?
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. It's like one thing after another over here in this house. Roman's got strep. Brady destroyed his knee in every possible way you can destroy a knee. So it's going fucking great over here, man.
He did his best Nick Chubb impression.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
When you text us that, I felt so bad. Go
ahead.
I was just gonna say, as a parent, it's just awful. I mean, I feel helpless and awful when our kids are just sick, let alone I've never had to deal with like an actual injury. So I couldn't imagine. That was probably
it's rough. Yeah, it's rough, man. Do your little intro and then I'll kind of break down the story as much as I would like to on here, at least.
Sure. Dad, how are you?
I'm good.
All right, cool. So story time.
Well, that went far. So yeah, I mean, Brady's been on the podcast a couple times with me. Obviously, we did the companion series together with Demon Slayer. We've done a ton of Patreon episodes together. He's not one to ever complain about something hurting. So he goes into this game, runs the ball, and they carry him off the field. Quite literally, can't put any weight on it. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably not good. Like, if he's coming out, he's not the kind of kid that's going to come out. He's not the kind of kid that's going to lay there and act hurt. So I go down there, and I'll refrain from talking about the interaction with me and one of his assistant coaches. I'll tell that maybe in private, but it was like a odd interaction, and I mean, it was like I'd love to tell it on here, but I mean, he's probably never going to see this dude again, right? I guess there's a chance, but yeah, the dude pissed me off. It basically is the crux of it. But yeah, he ended up shattering his tibia plateau, just top of the tibia bone, into 3 pieces. So it's the same exact injury that an adult would get an ACL tear on, but since he's a kid, the bone's the weak point. So the tendon actually pulled the bone apart into 3 fucking pieces, which is absurd. So he went in for like an hour and a half surgery, ended up being like 3 hours. He was back there because it was so mangled when they got in there.
Dang, dude.
And like we're reading through he has like a My Chart thing where the doctor puts all the notes in. Mm-hmm. And it's like in the notes, like the surgeon was like, I didn't even know if I could fix it when I got in there. And I was like, what's the procedure if he can't fix it? Like, I've never heard that before. Like, just, I don't even know if I can fix it, bro. It's so screwed up.
I love, but also don't love for your sake, the fact that he was like, put that in his notes.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it is he's like the president of the local medical staff at the local children's hospital. So he's like top, and he's only on call once a month.
Wow.
So like everybody was like, do you know him? I'm like, no. And like, it's so weird that you got him to do the surgery because he doesn't even do this stuff anymore. He's like way above it.
Wow.
But when he's saying,
yeah,
I don't even know if I can fix it, I'm like, oh, great.
He fixed it though, right?
He fixed it. Yep. He fixed it. Yep. Took longer. He'll be in a immobilizer for 4 months. And they'll slowly loosen the hinges on it so he can start to bend it a little bit.
So
yeah, back to school today.
Dang.
First day.
So in like 5-6 months, he's gonna be doing like his best Forrest Gump impression.
Yeah.
Running the knee brace off.
Running the knee brace off. Yeah, hopefully so the NFL, it actually just started here in Stark County last year, I think, or maybe the year before that. But the NFL has a flag football league that he was going to play in the spring. So that's kind of our goal, is to try to get him back in time for that. I think we'll be all right because it's not till like April, I think. But yeah, so it's been a real eventful. And then Roman came home sick with strep from school today. It's like,
that's going around, man.
Might as well, man.
Well, you know, we've made it to Florida. Been here for a little over a week, almost.
Yeah.
And 2 of my 3 kids have colds. So,
does that even happen? That's interesting. I didn't even think that was a thing in Florida. Like, people only get sick here seemingly in the winter time
because of the seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably just adjusting to a whole new set of allergens and climate and stuff. But so that's been fun with this week.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's that time of the year, man. It's just like they're like just little germ balls. Like they just nonstop. It's nonstop. It's insane.
Yeah. And we got I don't know if you can see in the window here, but little flashes of lightning. So if anything goes on, I'll do my best to get back on. But yeah. So I believe the last episode I was on was what? Polyphia. 3 weeks ago. We talked about Polyphia, which was really fun. But I'm excited to be back today. I didn't jump on with Nick last week when he was joined by Casey to talk about the Ahsoka season finale and recap. I'm working my way to catching up with that. I think I just finished episode 6 last night. Dude, episode 5 of Ahsoka, I just want to get this out there. Like peak Star Wars. Maybe the best
hang on,
I've ever seen.
All right, because I don't know let me see what episode I'm on, because how many episodes are there?
8.
8, yeah.
Oh yeah, I should be okay. Hang on. Is 5 the Clone Wars episode?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, fire, bro.
Dude, maybe the best piece of Star Wars material I've ever seen in my life.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I was like texting Nick as I was watching it, and I was literally just like, every text was like, bro, oh my gosh, they're doing it. The thing.
So good, man.
Yeah, just seeing Hayden as the Clone Wars Anakin and not like the whiny prequel Anakin was super cool.
Yep.
And getting to see little snippets here and there of Clone Wars like battle action was super cool. And as it was going on, I was like, man, I would just love a live action Clone Wars something. But the more I thought about it, since it's like 7 seasons of just all out like battles, basically, that would cost like $1 trillion to do like a season of that.
So no wonder that it was all like with dust for the background.
I mean, that is exactly. Yeah, you could tell, but it worked. Like thematically, I thought it worked. But that's the purpose, is so they didn't have to show all the shit that was going on behind the dust, right? I agree with you. I think it's definitely the best piece of Star Wars content in the past decade, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I would also love, even if they did like just a story arc style Clone Wars series, where it doesn't have to be like big extra, like maybe it's like a freaking murder mystery or some shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
just set in the Clone Wars live action. Oh man, after that episode I'm sold.
Yeah,
it
for
was
sure.
So good.
And I've just been so impressed with Balin and Shin. Like those characters are awesome, and it makes me sad because obviously Ray Stevenson passed away, which is sad in a whole other obvious reason. But like man, Balin is such a. I don't know what's going to happen with him by the end of the season. Like if he was just going to be in this season and that's it, or if there was plans for him going forward. But I have 2 episodes left to watch, and I'm already just like, I'm not going to see any more Balin. This makes me so sad.
It was really tough because I finished it, and they kind of leave him like
in limbo.
Wide open. Like
I figured,
because his whole arc is awesome, and like he obviously, I'm not going to spoil anything for you guys, but he kind of gets where he wants to be. Like you understand what he was really going for. And like I need more of that because he was probably the most intriguing character of the show for me. Just because he was driven by something, and then at the end I'm like, okay, it makes a little bit more sense now.
Yeah,
but he's not alive.
It's pretty cool because like there's 3 different like objectives going on. Like obviously Thrawn and Morgan have their objective. Ahsoka and Sabine have their objective. But then you have Balin and Shin, they're just like on their own. Like they're entwined with Thrawn and Ahsoka, but they're just on their own path, like trying to do their own thing, which is really cool.
So what episode did you say you were on?
I just finished 6 last night.
God, dude, I want to say something, but I don't know.
So you watched 6. So that was after they got into the space whales, and
so they arrived at their location after the space whales.
Yeah, it was Thrawn's first appearance.
Okay, that's what I wanted to say. So, live action Thrawn, love it. Unfortunately, Jordan fucking ruined it for me because he said he looks like Elon Musk, and I can't unsee it now. This happens to me constantly. People will say stupid crap like this, and then I can't unsee it. It happened with Arya from Game of Thrones. A guy at work told me that she looks like Stewie from Family Guy, and I can't unsee it. I can't freaking unsee it. a little bummed out, but Thrawn on point, man. And I hope that we're building to something more here, and it's not just going to end at the end of this because Thrawn's a big piece in the expanded universe that they threw out, and they obviously thought he was sweet and brought him back in. So
well, I think he's definitely got his own movie. I don't know if it's going to be a trilogy or not, but this is like the next. I believe this is the bridge, no pun intended, Ezra, to getting to the Thrawn movie. Like this is setting up Thrawn's like as the big baddie of the next series of movies.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. I gotta kind of break this great conversation we're having. Have you always had a tattoo on your arm?
Whoa, did you see that?
That lightning was sick, bro. Yeah, that was real sick.
I have a tattoo here.
Dude, I don't think
one back here.
I don't think I've ever seen you without fucking sleeves on, if I'm being honest with you.
I know. I always have hoodie sleeves on. I got two tats, bro.
Yeah. That.
Just two. Wow.
I feel like we're gonna have a new segment now that I have this window here. It's just like spot the lightning. Oh, there's another.
There it was.
But yeah, so I'm really enjoying Ahsoka so far. It's been great.
Well, the way it ends, you'll be really excited.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I need to finish. I haven't watched the final 2 episodes, so
I will say I do have sorry, I'm distracted by all the windows. You can see the reflection of all my monitors in the other window.
Your 50 monitors.
Yeah. The one thing that does annoy me though is how they've done Sabine. I think she's pretty much everything I detest in most characters. Whiny, little angsty. For some reason, they're messing around with this whole Jedi Force stuff. And she's like, why? She's a Mandalorian. Why do you have to throw that stuff in there? Just let her be who she is.
She's kind of like a hybrid thing. Whatever that means.
Dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
Good night, Beck.
But there are some really, really cool moments in the finale, and you guys need to hurry up and watch it so we can talk about it.
All right. Well, it's been nice. I'll see you guys next week. I'm gonna go watch the last 2 episodes. But yeah, no, I'm excited. It's been awesome, and I'm excited to finally finish it up so I can go back and listen to Nick and Casey talk about it, because I'm sure they had a lot of really awesome things in last week's podcast.
Mostly Casey, though, right? Because Nick's mic was really low.
Oh, yeah. Was it really?
Yeah, Nick's microphone was pretty low. So
which that never happens.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm actually sad Nick's not here, because one of the main games we were going to talk about tonight. So talking about what's playing. And I've only been playing really one game, and it was a game Nick has been playing a lot of and has either beaten or got substantially farther than I have, and that is Hades. And it's been a real blast. Chad, have you ever played Hades?
I have not. Not, unfortunately.
And Dad,
I've got like
dabbled
3 hours into it, so not a lot, but enough to like want to. Well, like I want more of it.
Yeah. Let me look right now on the deck real quick. Because I never.
Is that what you're playing? Is that what you're playing it on the deck?
Yeah, I've not fired it up on the tower yet. It's just been on the deck. Oh, speaking of, my deck's about to die.
You're playing.
Let's see here. Can't find it quickly, of course, because I'm trying to find it quickly. Why would I be able to find it quickly?
So the more I play it, the more I am reminded of Dead Cells a bit. Because you can get like just the layout, the roguelike where you start over.
Yeah,
you can get different weapons. Yeah, it's a good time.
So I couldn't find it quickly, but I never exit out of the game on the Steam Deck. I just like put it to sleep, pause it, put it to sleep or whatever.
Yeah.
And so in Steam on the deck, it says I have like 900 hours in Hades.
Oh, does it really count the hours while it's sleeping?
It must.
But that can't be right.
When I look at it on my computer, my tower here, it says I only have like 2 hours into it. So both are
wildly
like
inaccurate.
Blatantly extremely inaccurate.
Check mine now.
So I'm sitting somewhere between like 2.5, 3 hours and like 900 hours.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Having a lot of fun with it though.
I'm just gonna sit here and play it.
Okay. Yeah, so this is kind of like my first dive into a roguelike like this. I don't know if you would consider what was that other game? Shoot, Darkest Dungeon. That's a roguelike, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
I think so.
Kind of set up like completely different, which is
totally different.
Kind of cool how this genre is able to do that. But my first dive into a roguelike like this, where you play the same character, the runs kind of randomize a little bit. There's tons of different build paths and options, different weapons and stuff like that to add variation. But man, I never thought I would like games like this, but I love this. It's been so much fun. Do you get into roguelikes like this, Chad?
So yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit with Dead Cells. It's not a genre for me. I just don't like it. I have played a few. Sifu is technically a roguelite. It's a roguelite, I guess, theoretically, not a roguelike. But I don't know. There's just something about, I like progressing in games. I don't like dumping a bunch of hours and then feeling like I don't get anywhere. So I line up a little bit better with the rogue. And I can never remember which one is which, but whichever one allows you to progress in some aspects, but then wipes everything down. when you die. I can get behind those ones. I can't get behind the ones like just die and you restart and everything's totally different. I just can't do it. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't found the one for me, but
right.
I do know that this game was huge. I mean, this game won a lot of Game of the Year awards when it came out. So it's always been, kind of sitting there with Dead Cells for a game that I really want to play.
Why don't you look up what roguelite is? I have roguelike up here, and it's an RPG game characterized by dungeon crawl through procedurally generated levels, turn-based gameplay, grid-based movement, permanent death for the player character. Most roguelikes are based on high fantasy narrative, reflecting their influence from tabletop role-playing games. So that doesn't really bring any sort of clarity to me.
No,
at least.
And I'll be honest with you, I must have misheard you, because I thought you said. So which one did you just read? Roguelike with a K, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There
is a difference, and I believe that the difference. So it's just a subgenre of roguelite, but it's basically, from what I understand it, is that it allows you to progress in some aspects. So Sifu, for example, anytime you would die, you would go back to the beginning of the level. Okay. It's not procedurally generated. The level is the same, but that's not the difference. The difference is it allows you to progress skills and stuff outside of that. So you're not losing everything when you die. So you can upgrade like weapons and skills and background stuff. Whereas the one that you just said does not allow you to do that. It's a full wipe from the beginning. That's how I've always understood it. So
that makes sense. Now the cool thing is with Hades, there's like one thing that you can upgrade that stays every run, and those are kind of like, I forget exactly what they're called, but they're like little trinkets that you can have in your bag, and you can have one equipped for your run, and it provides some sort of effect.
Gotcha.
Those you level up as you continue to have them equipped for runs, and then I think there's like 3 levels per trinket or whatever. Other than that, like there's a currency that you earn that you can upgrade passive stats for your character. There aren't, well, I shouldn't say this because I'm not all the way through it, but I think they come in batches of like maybe 7 to 10 skills, and then you can use a second sort of currency to unlock another set. So you can like I have maybe 20 different upgrades I can do that stay each run. But other than that, like every time you go in, each floor of the dungeon, you can earn a random perk, and most of them are called boons, which are like skills or upgrades to your attacks or whatever, and they're all themed off of the Greek gods of Olympus.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is kind of
really
cool.
It's really cool.
And I found I've played, like I said, between 300 and 900 hours. So in that amount of time, I've found like 3 builds that I've really, really liked, and I have yet to be able to replicate them.
Yes.
After a run, which is both really cool, but also like kind of frustrating, because there's one in particular that I really want to do again, but I just haven't gotten the set of skills available, you know.
And that's similar to Dead Cells too. Like,
is it?
Oh yeah, like you get different weapons and different perks, and I can't tell you. I can't tell you actually that I've gotten it, the one build that I liked, more than once or twice.
Oh man.
And I've played this game a lot, and I can't like seem to get this weapon that I freaking love.
See,
it's frustrating.
That's the problem. That's definitely the problem that I have.
However, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, because I mean, I guess it's kind of good because it's almost like it maybe forces you into using other builds that you normally wouldn't instead of getting locked into a single build. So, like if like Armored Core, for example, had an element like that, I probably wouldn't use the same exact build for 80% of the game. You know what I mean? Because it was just working, so why change it?
Exactly.
So there's benefits to it, but I don't know. I would get incredibly frustrated trying to get a specific build that I loved early on in the game and I can't get it again.
So for me with Dead Cells, like, yes, there's a specific build that I really, really like. However, when I got the Castlevania, Return to Castlevania DLC, I got this scythe, which was freaking like I fought death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like I thought I knew what weapon I really loved until I got this freaking scythe. So like when you kill an enemy, like their spirit or whatever attacks the next enemy that you encounter. So and it's just plus it's a really cool looking weapon.
Yeah.
But the thing about Dead Cells for me is like they have so many weapons. And you like can interchange, like you can switch out weapons. Like there's chests all over the place that you can find different things to switch out with other things. So like there's so much variety to it. Like you almost forget about your build that you like to roll with because every weapon like has a specific perk or like it just does something different, or you can do melee, ranged, or like and you can have a shield if you want. Dude, I need to play Dead Cells again.
Yeah, you love an Undead Cells.
And Hades is basically a 3D version of Dead Cells. Is what I'm learning the more I play it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm now that I know that I like this style of game, Dead Cells is creeping its way up the list for me. Yeah, just a little bit about Hades. It came out in 2020, Super Giant Games, which I looked, because obviously it's a familiar name, but I don't remember a game being as big as Hades that they've released. And turns out they've only released 4 games. Bastion, which I've played, and it's a pretty fun game. I think I got it for like $1 or $2 on the Switch because it's from 2011. So it's an oldie, but it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. Transistor didn't play, but I remember when that came out back in 2014. Again, it had a lot of buzz around it. It got some acclaim there. Pyre, I never played. That came out in 2017, but then of course Hades in 2020, and then the sequel to Hades coming out soon.
I just saw that.
That's a loose soon, not a
yeah. That's like a maybe sometime in the near future.
It's kind of like between my 3 and 900 hours.
Yeah.
That's like maybe 2024 or Star Wars Eclipse, somewhere in between there. We'll get Hades too.
So sorry, I keep.
We both went like this, which is great.
Well, I was just watching the reveal trailer for Hades 2.
Yeah,
and like the art style is a little different. And the character's different. The main character's different, but it looks pretty rowdy. I'm just throwing it out there. It looks really cool.
Yeah, no longer Zagreus. But yeah, you mentioned weapons in Dead Cells. In Hades, there are 6 total weapons, I believe, and you unlock them by getting keys in your run. So you have to get a certain amount of keys. I believe so, or at least that's all I've unlocked.
I was gonna say, I mean,
but I really like how the runs happen. Usually, you get through a floor and you're presented with 2 doors to choose to walk through, and each door there's an icon above it that is like the reward for clearing the next room. So you have like, while those rewards are random every run you do, like you have a little bit of agency to choose like what you want to try to shoot for in your build. And I really, again, never playing a game like this before, I enjoy how they handle the repetition of doing the runs like in the game with the characters and the narrative and stuff. because the whole story of the game, you're Zagreus, you're the son of Hades, and you're trying to escape, trying to get out because you're trying to find your mother. And as you get to the end of a floor, there's a boss fight. You beat the boss, and then when you lose, you start all the way back at the beginning, the first dungeon, go through it. So there's a lot of fighting the same bosses over and over again, but like the interactions between Zagreus and the bosses each time, they're all different. They all have different dialogue.
Oh, that's interesting.
And all the characters know that you're trying to escape. Like even Hades knows that you're trying to escape. So all the dialogue is like, "Oh, you're here again. You didn't learn your lesson. Like you're never going to escape this place." And it's like,
I see.
Which is
really
awesome.
Cool way to do it for sure. Yeah.
It's awesome because now Dead Cells doesn't do that. Like, I mean, there's a little hints of it, but this does it. It's just a really cool take on a rogue, like whatever it is. Like,
one of the two.
It's familiar, right? But the story keeps you in it. You're immersed in it, even though you have to keep replaying the same stuff again. But it drives the story along, which is really, really awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's cool because as you talk to the characters, you kind of get like a little compendium that completes with like character information and like feats you've done in each level of the dungeon. You get rewards and stuff. But each time you talk to a character, like it fills out more of their like page in the compendium, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I always appreciate it when a game tries to explain narratively like why the gameplay loop is what it is, or like plays into it, which is, again, I'm going to talk about it again because it wouldn't be a podcast or a Showboys episode if I didn't bring up Dust 514 from back on the PlayStation 3. But like being from the Eve universe, all the characters are clones and the consciousness is transferred between clone husks. Like the Eve pilots are the same way. And they carried that down into Dust 514, the first person shooter game in this universe. And I always thought that was, again, another like really clever way to explain like why you respawn when you're in the middle of a battle. It's like, because we're just clone husks. So the battle happens until all of the clones that were sent there are depleted, and then whoever has clones left, they win. I don't know, just little things like that make me appreciate the game a little bit more, because you try to explain a gameplay loop that otherwise is usually just like, well, it's a game, so like deal with it, don't think about it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that like Sifu did that really well. Also, so the whole premise of Sifu is that when you die, you get older, and then you progress, and you need to beat the game before you hit 70 and die, and then you die of old age. But yeah, just explaining like just the whole setup of everything. Like you get older, and then you get like a little bit stronger, but a little bit like your health is weaker, so you do more damage, but you have less health, and then it progresses, and there's each like 10 years that you add on, it changes, and it changes the way you look and everything. So it's just a cool setup. So it's a very similar thing going on with Sifu, which is really the only other game that I have to kind of draw parallels to this, because I haven't really played any other ones.
That's pretty cool though. What does Dead Cells do? Is there anything, or is it just like whatever, just do this dungeon crawl again?
I mean, they do add some different things that you encounter. It's nothing like, it's very linear, I guess, if that's the right word for it. You have one path, but you can go. There are multiple ways to go to get to the final destination. I haven't beat the game yet, so
shame.
I know I'm so bad at that game, but I love it. My son has beat it.
Nice.
But like they add like little things randomly generated that kind of help explain like what is happening, like part of the story, because you're
Mhm.
basically a prisoner trying to get out. But it's not as cool as Hades, honestly.
Yeah.
There are things that are cooler,
Oh man.
but as far as story,
Mhm.
I feel like Hades has Dead Cells beat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Just in the way that they explain the repetition of it, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're trying to escape what I mean, it's essentially you're escaping hell, right? In this
Mhm.
So yeah, just the fact that, and then the bosses are like, you didn't learn your lesson like the
Yeah.
last time we did this. That's
Yep.
so cool, man, that they add that in, because
Like-
it could have been very easy for the developer to just make it the same every time,
Right.
and give you some background story and not change the dialogue with the bosses. But
Yeah, and the fact that like so they're all part of Hades. So like even though you're dying, like you're sent to where the dead spirits go. So like everyone just convenes in this place anyways. So you're gonna, as you try to escape, even if I beat the boss the first time and I come back a second time, of course they're still gonna be there because
yeah,
they're trapped here too. So
Yeah.
right.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just super, super cool. Before we got on, I was, playing a little bit, and I
Same.
finally, I've been stuck on like the third dungeon forever. I'd get there, and I just was really struggling with the third dungeon boss, and I finally beat it, and I was so
Nice.
excited. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I want to keep playing."
You got
But
that Dark Souls
I
loop
know,
going on, huh?
Yeah.
yeah,
So
for sure.
let me ask. So there's multiple dungeons, right?
Yeah. So
So
essentially, you're like escaping levels of hell. So
okay,
like,
so if you die at the third level or third boss, do you go all the way back to the
Mhm.
beginning? Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So there's no checkpoint system at all.
No.
Oh, bummer. Yeah.
So there's
But
4 main dungeons.
okay, cool. So I'm getting close.
Yeah, you are.
But as you go, so there's ways to collect. There's like technically 4 different currencies. One is gold. The gold is only useful during a run. Of occasionally you'll get shops and you can buy stuff. When you lose a run, you lose all your gold. So as you're collecting gold, spend your gold because you're not going to take it with you when you die. Then there's I forget what it's called, but they're the purple gem things. That those you do keep, and that's what you use to upgrade the passive skills.
Is that when you're in your room and you go to the mirror?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so and those skills stay with you permanently as you upgrade them.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Then there are gems. These gems you collect during your run. You also keep them permanently until you spend them. They are spent in between runs to like upgrade the dungeons. So like there's options to add certain floors to a dungeon where there might not be any enemies and you can like buy stuff, or I bought a fishing pole which you can fish in levels and use those to unlock things.
Yeah.
And then if you like really get into Hades, you can use those gems to buy cosmetic things for like the lobby, I guess, for lack of a better word. So you can like change the look of the lobby and stuff. And then the last one, you get keys.
Yeah.
And these keys you use to unlock the weapons. And I don't know how far you've gotten, Jeff, but the skill upgrades you can do in the mirror, you can buy more. You can unlock more with, I think it's like 10 keys unlocks the next batch. So that's kind of what the keys are used for.
So there's 6 weapons, you said?
Yeah, there's a sword, a spear, a shield, a bow, gloves, and then a gun, actually.
A gun. Interesting. Is there voice acting?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is another thing that I would put above Dead Cells, because Dead Cells it's all text.
Oh yeah,
Whatever. I mean, that's fine. I can get past that. But I think Hades. Another point to Hades is the voice acting is really, really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I'm watching. I'm watching. Just the art style is sweet too.
It's so good.
Like it's really
very,
good. The
very good
portrait,
looking.
all the character portraits are awesome looking.
And
so
I don't even remember how many gods there are, but there's
a lot.
There's more gods than there are weapons, and each god has a bunch of different skills that you can choose during the runs. So there's a lot of variety in your builds. Even if you're doing multiple runs with the same weapon, your build is essentially always going to be different, which is really cool.
So I just looked it up. There are 10.
10, okay.
And I just, on my last run, I just
this lightning is getting so sick behind me.
I
got distracted.
I just ran into Ares.
Okay, yeah,
which was really
good
cool.
One. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you though, which weapon is your favorite that you've unlocked?
So I just got the farthest with the spear, and at first I wasn't a huge fan of the spear, but I think I really like the spear. My two best runs have both been with the spear.
Yeah.
And
I would say the same for me.
Yeah. There is my favorite build. There was one where at the very beginning, the first boon that I got offered was cut my health in half. Maybe it wasn't half. It might have been half. Take a huge cut in total health, but gain lifesteal on attacks. It was like gain 2 health every time you attack something. So I did that. And then as you go through, every time there was a max life upgrade as a reward, I picked that. So I built my health pool back up over time. By the time I died, I had like 200 max health, but I had lifesteal on every attack. And I was just like, this is amazing. I'm invincible. And then I got to the boss that I just beat tonight, and it was just really hard the first time. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
that didn't help.
So, is this game, does it run good on the Steam Deck?
Oh, it's amazing.
It does.
It's great.
Yeah.
Is it
I
on
haven't
sale
played
right
it
now
on
by chance?
I don't know. I can
It had
look
to
it
be
up.
if Mike owns it.
Right. I think I picked it up pretty cheap too. That's what I do want to say about roguelike games. The fun part about it for me is the builds and all the different things you can do.
So what exactly carries over between runs in this? Is there anything at all? Just the path, like did the passive skills that you pick up carry over between runs?
Just those passive skills that you level up with the purple gems.
Okay, gotcha.
It is not on sale right now. $25.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's got like that's $25 for. I was looking at the time that like how long to beat website, and it looks like if you want to be a completionist, this is a heavy dump of hours you're going to be putting into this game. Like 95 and a half. That's almost like Persona level.
That's
time.
A lot.
So,
well,
and it's
like,
super cool. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's just because to unlock all the stuff in your compendium book, like it just will take a million runs because of the randomness of like choosing of the skills that you have to choose to unlock pages or whatever.
Yeah.
So Dead Cells is about 87.5 hours for like total.
Wow.
Completion.
Jeez,
just because there's so many there are a ton of weapons in Dead Cells.
So I'll be honest, I think Dead Cells at least gameplay wise looks more my cup of tea. I'm not really big on that because Hades is kind of like top down Diablo style gameplay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
And then Dead Cells is like a side scrolling,
it's
like
a
Castlevania style Metroidvania.
Yeah, Metroidvania. Yeah.
So it's definitely, but just everything that you're saying about Hades is making me really want to play it. If I'll be honest. And it came out on Brady's birthday, which is I think really cool.
Oh, there, it's Destiny.
Nice. There you go.
Let's talk about Destiny real quick, okay? So Brady was born September 17th of 2013. Okay. It had been years since we got a Grand Theft Auto game at that point. It was supposed to come out like December of the last year or something ridiculous, and they delayed it, and it got delayed to the exact day my first child was born. I've been waiting for this freaking game for like 8 years or whatever it had been at the time, and it got moved to. And I remember like, you know, Brady came out, everything was chill. I went home to like get some sleep because I had been up all night, and I went and picked Grand Theft Auto up because I was so excited about it. But I got home and I was like, dude, I'm just too tired. Like, can't do it. I can't do it. I want so badly to do it, but I can't. But I was like, this is just my luck that, you know, my most anticipated game of probably my life comes out on this same exact day. My first
He's destined to be a gamer.
Yep, he was. Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, it plays like a dream on the deck. The controls are amazing, and it just runs so smooth.
It's so good.
That's pretty much just about all I've been playing. Side note, I guess that's kind of a lie, but I forced myself, thank you, Pokeboys, to finally finish Pokemon Violet, which was the last, the newest Pokemon game come out on the Switch.
Yeah, the train wreck one.
Yeah, let me tell you, still awful.
Yeah.
I'll just get that out now. It's still a big pile of doo-doo for a game.
Which is surprising.
No.
It is certainly surprising for a Pokemon game, and it's certainly surprising for Nintendo. I know Nintendo doesn't technically make those games, but usually their games are sound and put together really well. So
yeah. So like when Legends Arceus came out, people complained a lot about it, graphic stuff. Like didn't look the prettiest, whatever. At that time, I was like, this is stupid. It's a Pokemon game. It's not going to be a graphically intense game. Arceus played. It ran smooth. Played awesome. The gameplay loop was amazing. It was something like brand new for the franchise. Revitalized the franchise. And was awesome. Then they come out with Pokemon Violet, which the reason I forced myself to finish this, if anyone listening is also a listener of Pokeboys, where in between seasons we do like a random episode, and our season 2 interstitial episode, we're going to talk about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet because the DLC just came out or is about to come out. I think it just came out. I don't remember. I'm not going to get it, so I don't care. But Jared was very excited about it, so we're going to talk about it. Anyways, Scarlet and Violet were kind of in development like at the same time as Arceus, so different studios. So they kind of implemented some of the cool things Arceus did, but they were like not done well.
Right.
like you could tell that they weren't sure how Arceus was going to be received. So they're like, maybe we'll sprinkle some of this stuff
a little bit. Yeah.
But like the stuff that they put in just like also didn't work well. So it's like, anyways. So, it was just massively disappointing. Like, it looks bad graphically, and for me to say that about a Pokemon game, like it has to be a train wreck because
that's true. Because none of them are really graphically impressive.
No,
by any
this
stretch.
Just looks like a PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah, that's brutal.
And like I'm walking around, and they tried to do too much at once, and in doing that did absolutely nothing at all, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
So they tried to make like an open world Pokemon game, and they tried to do the thing that Arceus did where all the Pokemon are just in the overworld and you can see them and interact with them, and that's how you encounter them, instead of like the old Pokemon games where you walk in the tall grass and then a random one pops up. The problem is the draw distance. Like, first off, the game looks like doo-doo, so you can't tell like what's a Pokemon and what isn't, because the Pokemon they included in the overworld, if it's a small Pokemon, it's like microscopic, and I can't even see it on the screen. I'll just be walking and then randomly be like, oh, I guess I just ran into a Pichu, I guess.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, I'll just be walking along and like the background is rendering, and then all of a sudden like 100 Pokemon just pop up.
Okay. See, I have no regard for that crap. I can't stand popping like that.
It's legitimately awful.
I mean, the Pokemon like on the overworld thing was like a Let's Go Pikachu thing, right? Is that who started that originally? Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu. I think it might have been.
Yeah, they started like sprinkling in small stuff like in the 3DS and like with static encounters, or just for like cosmetic looks, like, oh cool, there's a Pidgey flying. But I think because the Let's Go's came out before Arceus, right?
Yes.
So yeah, they were the first ones, and then Arceus like went all in, and that was the shtick. And then Scarlet and Violet did the same thing. Sword and Shield did a similar thing in like they had a mixture of like traditional Pokemon encounters and overworld Pokemon encounters. But yeah, I hate Scarlet and Violet. Spoiler alert, if you're going to listen to the season 2 interstitial. The only saving grace is the theme song for the final zone of the game. Literally is like one of the best pieces of video game music I've ever heard in my entire life.
Wow, interesting.
And
like, it's impressive.
I love the Pokemon theme music. I'll just listen to remix playlists of Pokemon music. I'm not even joking, like all day long. When I heard this, I heard this track on a playlist and thought it was a remix, because that's what Jeff, when you turned on, did you think?
I thought it was a remix.
That's literally what it sounds like in the game. Like, I walk into Area Zero, the theme comes on, and I'm just like sobbing. I'm like, this is so beautiful. This is the most amazing. And it's just so like, compared to every other song in Scarlet and Violet, it just out of nowhere comes the Area Zero theme, and it's like, it's the polyphia of like Pokemon music. And then the end story with one of the NPCs that plays out in Area Zero and at the end of the game is actually pretty good. But the problem is, my whole point with the open world thing is they try to do like non-linear, story or whatever, and they had like 3 story arcs going at the same time, like 3 paths you could do, but you have to do all of them. And they like, it's open world, so technically you could do any of the 3 paths in any order that you want and interchange paths, and like, but then at the same time they also didn't make it scale with levels. So like, there's a very clear, like, you do this first and you do this last, but like, you could go do the last one first and get it completely obliterated. So like, I was just, why would you do that? You're making it not open world,
right?
Yeah.
But then saying it's like, you could do whatever you want, but clearly you can't, because we designed it to not scale, and if you do the last thing first, you're not going to be able to do it, so you better do the first thing first. So then why are you like giving this like false image of you could just do whatever you want in the open world of Paldea? There's just so much.
That sounds like an Arceus. That sounds like something they're trying to shoehorn in there because of Arceus, because that's how Arceus is, right?
No, that's open zone, and there's a very clear like linear progression.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Joe, what's up, dude? I popped in your stream, Sea of Stars, the other night, and you kept me company while I was doing the dishes. I really want to play that game. It looks amazing, and everyone.
What game?
It's called Sea of Stars. Everyone that I've talked to who's played it said it's amazing. So, Joe, is it actually amazing? Because I really want to play it.
So I looked up because I really want to play a Pokemon game, and I thought this was
don't do this one.
I know. I got that from everything that came out around the game. It's like Starfield for me. You know what I mean? It's like a clear answer on the question. But that being said, it just sounds like they bit off way more than they can chew.
Yeah.
Like when you go to, like, if you go to a restaurant for the first time and you open up the menu and they have like 900 things on the menu, you're like, okay, this is all about to be shit. You know what I mean? There's
exactly.
They can't do it all. So
that's literally the perfect way to describe this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I ever go to a place and open up a menu like that, I'm like, nothing is going to be good.
Right.
I might as well go somewhere else.
Exactly. I'll be honest with you. I almost just want to get up and leave if that ever happens, that I open up a menu and it's got like, if it's got like above 30 things on the menu, I'm out.
Yeah, for sure. So like, if you were to play a Pokemon game, I'll do some thinking about that, honestly, I might even suggest not official Pokemon games for you to play.
Yeah,
instead.
I mean, I have the ability now to, I don't know, man. Cheesecake Factory's menu is huge and they deliver. I thoroughly disagree with that. Cheesecake Factory is trash. Moving forward. Same with Rockneys. You can fight me on Rockneys. Rockneys is trash.
I don't like Rockneys.
So I have the ability to do that now where I didn't before, because I can primarily play everything on the Steam Deck now, right? So I can get all that stuff on the Steam Deck.
That's fair.
But there was like part of me that wanted to go and play, because I own Let's Go Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
And the only Pokemon game I've ever played is Red and Blue and Yellow back in the day. So I do have like a nostalgic pull towards those games, and obviously those games are a remake of Yellow. So,
well, if you want a great Steam Deck experience, well, I can't say great Steam Deck experience, but an easily emulated game, play Fire Red or Leaf Green. They're remakes of the original, Red and Blue.
Yeah.
I want to say they came out in like 2004 or something. It was in the early 2000s. Fantastic. Like, those are some of my favorite official Pokemon games. Or go to the next the remakes of the next gen, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, also really good. Yeah, I'll do some thinking and give you.
Yeah, think about it, because I will say too that Arceus pulls me.
Oh, that was amazing. That's a great one.
That's probably the one I'd play if.
Yeah, that's got the strongest pull for me, probably, just because it looks so different. It's a nice change of pace from the normal Pokemon formula.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do really want to get into Pokemon at some point, because on top of that, there's just like a colossal amount of anime and manga stuff about Pokemon. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's all over the place. Like, find it in every store. So it'd be an awesome little bubble to build myself into.
There's so much of it's just a huge universe.
Yeah,
there's so much to it.
And was there? Oh no, I'm thinking. So they made a live action Pokemon, which was what, Detective Pikachu, maybe?
Yeah,
which was
dude,
amazing.
Such a great movie.
Fire, yeah, awesome movie.
They have a game, like an old game, Detective Pikachu, and then
they just came out with a new one too.
Yeah,
they just came out with. Or they remake? Is it a remake or a sequel?
I want to say it's probably a sequel. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of getting slayed in the reviews, unfortunately. But is it what? It's just like a detective game. Is that?
I don't know. I haven't played that one. No.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The movie's awesome though. I will say,
so good.
The only problem I had is that, and I love Ryan Reynolds with all my heart, but at this point in my life, Ryan Reynolds is
He's just Deadpool.
He's Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool is Pikachu. Is very weird.
It's exactly what he sounds like. So,
and he only has one voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Like changes his voice for any of the characters he does.
Right.
It's freaking Deadpool.
Well, Pikachu. If you ever got into Pokemon, I'd be so happy. And then you could play along the Pokeboys seasons, because every season we do is like a weird challenge, and we invite our listeners to play along with us, which is half the fun. Seeing everyone's play along stories in Discord and whatnot.
Yeah, I would love. Yeah, I'd be down for that because I mean, really, at the crux of it, Pokemon games are very Persona. Obviously, I mean, there's a lot of very similar elements in the games. So while I'm waiting for Persona 6, which will probably be another freaking 20 years at this point, Miles will dabble in Pokemon a little bit.
Well, hey, it sounds like the last game you were waiting for happened to come out when you birthed a child. So
true, true.
Maybe number 3.
Number 3 is not out. Yeah, no. Under zero circumstances will that ever happen. But yeah, it's
crazy lightning right there.
So, were you done with Pokemon?
Yeah.
So this is going to be a first, probably for the podcast in general, but I haven't been playing anything, which is very, very strange. I know.
What?
So I say that jokingly because I don't count what I'm about to say as playing a video game, even though it is a video game.
Hold on, it's either Ghost.
No,
Sekiro.
You won't be able to get it.
No. Okay, go ahead.
Brady and I have been playing Madden. So we got Madden 24. We are working through another season. So we're going to stream. The Vikings? Yes. So no, we are back home with New England. Finally, I got to talk Brady into going back to New England. It's been a couple years. We played with the Vikings. We played with the Rams, the Raiders, somebody else that I'm probably forgetting. But yeah, rough season so far, dude. So we're 5. I think we're 5-2 currently. We've never lost 2 games in Madden together ever. It's never happened.
Wow.
Yeah, just rough. It's that weird, like, first season of the franchise where you're like trying to build the team, but everything's not quite there yet, and we're still trying to knock off the rust. But we beat the Bills, who were undefeated. We were like 6-0. And then we lost to Miami, who had won 1 game. Like, are you freaking kidding me, dude? Like,
what year Madden are you playing?
24, the new one.
Oh, wow. Miami has won 1 game?
Yeah, trash.
They're
trash.
Wow.
Yeah, they're real bad. And then we snagged Justin Jefferson from the Vikings, so they have not won a game, which is hilarious that just one player makes that big of a shift over there.
How many seasons do you guys usually play in your franchise?
So we do quite a few. I'd have to go back and look, but 3 or 4 in the year probably, and they're all really around football time. We usually crank them out. We're being a little bit slower this time, just because we were trying to for a while we were trying to fit in the trial time. So we were like, let's just play like 1 game a night so we can play it multiple nights, because they give you like a 10-hour free trial. But we have now purchased the game, so we've been cranking through it a little bit more. But yeah, we're super set. We're all 99. So I don't know where the disconnect is coming. It's weird because of normally, so obviously we make our players. I make myself quarterback. Brady's always halfback. Roman is wide receiver. And then I make like a buddy of mine that's usually on defense, cornerback or safety. So second week, Roman breaks his ankle, so he's out for 6. It was actually theoretically it was a sign that something bad was probably going to happen at football, just with the wrong kid, obviously. So Roman breaks his ankle. He's been out the entire season, basically. I think we're getting him back next game, but then I don't know how to make it stop, but Zeke gets like 50% of the handoffs on the Patriots versus Brady. And I don't know if it's just because he's a rookie, but it's like absolutely infuriating me. I can't figure out how to just put Brady in all the time.
Sounds like you just got to trade Zeke.
I was thinking about it, but I think it's like, I was trying to think, I think every season this happens with like a rookie halfback. I don't think they're in all the time until they get like the second season maybe, but so that might be part of the problem. Not that Zeke's bad in the game. He's trash in real life, but he's not bad in the game.
He looks like an Ewok if an Ewok was a person.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He does. And he came to New England fairly fat. Like he's like a lineman level.
Wow.
Was it Leonard Fournette that also came to New England extremely fat?
Yeah.
Like,
So
they're
there's I don't know what it is about it, but yeah,
New England.
I'm excited to be back in New England.
all that clam chowder.
The cool thing this year is they let you like customize your shoes so we can wear Chicago Jordans. So if anybody's
That's probably
watched
why
our
Roman
streams,
broke his ankle.
yeah,
Wearing Jordans playing football.
So if anybody watched our streams, we always hand out Jordans like the Buckeyes hand out stickers for their helmets. So if some player does something good, they get a pair of Jordans. If they do something bad, the Jordans get taken away from them.
Oh, nice.
So it's cool that we're handing out Chicago's because we're always trying to like find a team that has red and has the proper color Jordan to make a Chicago. But now you can just do it yourself and go in there and do it. So
that's awesome.
So that is what I've been primarily playing, actually. And it's weird because it's been a hot minute since I played Armored Core. So it's been a long time since I've played like a game, just a normal game, but we're 8 days away from Spider-Man 2. Like there's no point in starting anything else at this point. I might as well just wait. And then Blink-182's new album comes out on the 20th as well. Like it's gonna be a fire.
Friday, dude. Their new song,
so good. All of them are good. The ones they've released so far, dude. I'm so happy that DeLong is back with them because yeah.
I feel like he's sorry.
I was just saying now all the Alien stuff is out in the open. He can go back to writing music.
He can go back to singing. Yeah.
Do you guys remember when he came back? Like years ago, before was it Neighborhoods?
Yeah, I mean, he's come back a couple times, right? like
the first time
there's
he
obviously
came back,
something there. Yeah,
like his voice, like he had a hard time transitioning from Angels and Airwaves to back to Blink.
For sure. Yeah,
I'm like watching the live shows of him. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
he
there's
screwed himself up with that.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know if it's like here. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that really any of them sing very well. If I'm being honest, I saw them live. Maybe Mark. Live. Yeah, maybe Mark does. Not anymore though, because he's struggling with. He had to go to a voice coach because of his cancer. So he's struggling singing too. But I don't know that, like, especially now, Tom DeLonge, I don't think can sing very well. He sang pretty well, like, through Dude Ranch, Enema of the State era, Blink-182.
Oh, that was
peak.
Take off your pants and jacket.
Take Off Your Pants and Jacket is great. And whatever the album is after that is really good as well. But then, and that might have been
that wasn't self-titled, was it?
No. Let me look it up. It's the one with the logo that they use all the time on the cover. But it is self-titled. You're right. Yeah, self-titled album. I really enjoy the self-titled album.
Love that album.
Very good. So I can't wait. Every song they've been like periodically releasing songs, like maybe every Friday for the past couple weeks. Everyone has been fire so far. So I can't wait for the full album.
Chad, you say you don't like music.
Yeah,
but here you are talking about freaking Blink-182.
Well, here, it's not that I don't like music. I love music. I just don't have the like deep knowledge to talk music with you. Like I don't know what the fuck's going on. I just know it sounds sweet. Like I can't tell you. Like I don't know who's playing bass. I don't know know any of that shit.
I barely know what's going on too. I mean,
and then the other thing is I'm like very equal opportunity with music. Like I listen to Blink, country, gangster rap. There's nothing I don't listen to be honest with you. There's not a single genre that hasn't been on my radio. So I just don't have the deep like emotional tie to music. I enjoy music.
I get that.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm very surprised that Chad has talked about music for like 5 minutes.
Right.
It's awesome.
Maybe
it's awesome,
legally,
man. Blink-182.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it takes me back, man.
I've never liked Blink-182. I'm sorry.
Really?
Get out. And you were in a freaking crappy punk band.
I know.
Wow.
And I didn't even like the crappy punk band.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
So it's
so Blink was probably my first like band crush back in the day. Like they're the first one that I listened to the entire album. It wasn't just the hits I was listening to. First concert as well was Blink.
Ooh.
Somehow talked my aunts into taking me and my friend at 10 years old, which for the record, don't do that. Because that's a Blink concert at 10 years old is not what you want to be doing. So
good,
let me tell you, because the very first thing they did when they, I don't even tell the story. Never mind. It's just not appropriate for a 10-year-old.
If you know Blink-182, you just know.
Yeah, you know.
Right away.
Yeah. If you've seen any of their live stuff, you know what they do on stage. So
the Mark, Tom, and Travis Show album was
listening to that today. Yeah, so good.
Fire.
Yes.
Even though I never got into Blink-182, I could still watch Travis play drums for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah.
He was like one of my main inspirations to play drums.
I was gonna say, like, the way your body moves while you're playing very much reminds me of Travis.
That would make sense because he's like my
main inspiration.
Yeah.
It's a good inspiration. And if anyone who's listening now listen to the Polyphia episode, you'll know that I love watching a good drummer drum. I could watch them play drums until time stopped, probably. Travis is on the list, Clay's on the list, and Dad's on the list. It's quite a prestigious list. Actually, Chad, I think you've maybe... No, I don't think you did. I was going to say, you might have seen Dad play drums, but I think you only saw him play guitar.
Oh my gosh, were you there?
He was
there?
Band. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So
that's
Chad
hilarious.
came to a couple of
Dad
Scarlet
doesn't even
Thread
know this story.
practices.
Yeah.
Technically, the video, the YouTube video that is no longer up of the Scarlet Thread at practice, Chad is sitting in a seat. He's there.
Yeah. Yep. Totally was there.
Yeah.
So who was it? Was Jordan there?
Yeah.
So that's wild.
Yeah.
He was not in that video, but he was in that band.
I thought he was in that video.
Mm-mm.
So it was you, Stefan,
and
me,
and
then some random drummer dude.
Random dude playing bass.
So I have to unpack something real quick. Is the hate for Blink-182 just a pushback because they're popular? Like
no, I just never really
Mike style.
No. I just never. Even though I started my music like playing life in a punk band, I never really listened to punk music.
Yeah.
So that's really all that is. And then I still don't listen to punk music, so I haven't.
I do probably more frequently than I'd like to admit. But I've just been on like a Blink ride the past like week, dude, because I saw that they had a new album coming out. It's coming out on the same day my most anticipated game is coming out for the year. It's just going to be a great day. The only thing that sucks about that day is that I'm on shift. So I won't be playing Spider-Man. I did say I kind of Brady and I were arguing about who was going to play Spider-Man 2 first. And I was like, dude, it's me. So get over it. You're just going to have to get over it. And now that I know I work, I'm like, all right, you can play it first because I'm not even going to be here. So
you should make him wait still.
Make him wait to play it. Yeah. So,
it's great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was trying to think the Blink concert that I went to was like in 2000, and it was Phoenix TX opening and Bad Religion opening. Bad Religion, is that a band, or did I make that up?
It sounds right.
It could be. Just say it with confidence, man.
Yeah, it's just so Dad, you ever listen to Boxcar Racer?
Yes.
Okay, dude, another fire. I love that freaking album too.
Really good.
I have deep nostalgic ties to that
you
one.
Like Plus 44?
I don't know that
that was Travis and Mark's band.
So I'll be honest. I'm like a total Tom fanboy.
Angels and Airwaves?
Yeah. So he's just been. I just think he makes the band. Like you can't when they were doing the albums with whoever that random ass dude was that they brought in to replace Tom. Yeah. It's just it wasn't working.
I couldn't get into it either.
And they know, like, there's a documentary like about them making this album and like making amends to come together and make this album. And they even say it like the Blink's us three. Like we just need to get over the fact that it's the three of us and not this random dude, you know? So
very true.
One More Time is the song.
Yes, that's the one.
Where they did all the flashbacks.
Yes, so
that's
good,
exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's those three. Like,
yeah,
all the memories of them together, just throwbacks of everything.
Yeah, that song's great. Edging is phenomenal. Edging's probably my favorite that they've released so far. And I don't know that I've listened to them. I think one comes out tomorrow, maybe.
So you know what we should do? The Thursday after the 20th, whatever date that is, we should totally do a Spider-Man and Blink episode.
Spider-Man and Blink episode. I'm in. Dig it.
Dude, that'd be so sick.
And I'll be honest with you, and this is gonna sound odd, but Tom DeLonge's just sexy, dude. I don't know what else. I don't know else to say.
He's crazy you say dude. That. Like there was a picture of him that I saw, and he is aged well. I feel like.
Yeah.
And he's got to be in his 40s, right?
Oh yeah, he's like 43, I think. Yeah, because Mark's like in his 50s. I think he's 51 or 50 or 51.
He's an old man.
He is, and you can see he's aged roughly.
Yeah, he
but he did go through cancer, so I think that's definitely
part of it. That's definitely part.
That'll do it. That's for sure.
But yeah, like Tom DeLonge, man, I it's just something about him, man, makes me drool a little bit. I don't know what it is.
You got a man crush.
I got a major man crush. Yeah. It's like him and Leo. Those are the two guys that just make me, oh my gosh. Leonardo DiCaprio is just like something else.
You gonna watch Killers of the Flower Moon?
Yeah. Looks awesome, dude. I can't wait.
3.5 hours.
Yeah, I mean, that's just becoming like Scorsese's time for movies. So it's not, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's how The Irishman was.
It's his time frame.
It definitely looks good. I know it's hitting theaters in some capacity, but is it also going straight to Apple Plus?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah, I think it would have to.
Right?
Yeah, because I think I looked it up whenever we talked about it last time, and it was showing up on Apple.
Yeah. So, Dad, are you playing much of anything?
Well, I've kind of been jumping around. Been playing Spider-Man. Not as much as I should be.
Yeah, right. You only got 8 days, bro.
Yeah, I'm not gonna beat it. Hades.
Well, to be fair, you don't have a PlayStation to even play it on, so I think you're good there.
Right. Well,
I did see. I almost texted you the other day because there were 2 PS5s at Target and one of the Spider-Man ones at Target.
Really?
Or maybe it was Walmart. It was Walmart, not Target. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
And the PlayStation, the Spider-Man one is so sweet, dude.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It looks so
well, everywhere I've looked online, they've been sold out.
Yeah.
So like
I was shocked to see that's it's not the first time that I've seen a PS5 in the wild, but it's the first time I've seen that Spider-Man one in the wild.
The PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
The PlayStation Store, they are sold out. Like they are not making anymore.
Oh yeah, I didn't think that's why. I went through like a 15-minute ordeal at Walmart. I was like, I'm fucking buying this thing, dude. Like I'm doing it. I don't need another PS5. I don't. And then my only like sell was like Brady loves Spider-Man. He needs a PS5 up in the game room. He's playing on a PS4, but he also so we do this thing with Brady in football where we make like money deals with them. So like a tackle is worth so much money. Touchdown is worth so much money. I think I said it on here before, but and he used that money that he built up from football to buy a custom PS4 controller that he like outfitted with everything. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to take his PS4 away. And, the controller hasn't even come yet.
But
yeah,
dang,
I think
dude, a custom PS4 controller.
Yeah,
whenever it comes, you need to send us a
like
picture.
$300.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was like $300. Yeah, he went all out. I mean, it lets you pick like the color of the Joy-Cons or the joysticks, the color of the controller, the color of the buttons, everything, and then you can put like mouse click buttons in, which he really wanted really bad. I don't even understand why he wants them so badly. But that was his thing. So I'm like, you do whatever you want, man. You got the money for it. So
if I ever start playing softball again, can I get you the Kinsey family to sponsor me?
Have I told this story on here before?
For my statistical prowess.
Yeah. Have I? Is this the first time I've ever said about the money thing for football? I can't remember if I told the story.
I've never. Maybe. Yeah, I've never heard.
So last year is when this started. And last year he's playing flag football. The year before that, he was like super timid, barely touched the ball. So we're like, this year, if you get a touchdown, we'll give you $100. That's the deal. Ooh. Knowing in our minds, kid's not going to get. It's
never going to happen.
He's never going to happen. Kid goes on to score 7 touchdowns. So it had like a fire year. So and he got paid out for all of them. I mean, we were true to our word. But
wow.
Yeah, totally.
Hey, that's a good motivation.
So this year it was
man.
like $25 for a touchdown, $10 for a tackle. Like let's dial it down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it is like every time that like Kirsten and I look at each other, like Jesus, he just scored another touchdown. Like, are you kidding me?
Like, I would have to get a second job
here.
No kidding. Dang.
Holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have to.
Not for our bank account, but
no. You'll have to post a picture of the controller in Discord for sure.
Yeah, I will for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Dad, if you haven't been playing anything, I don't know. I think we're out of stuff to talk about.
I mean, I did play a little bit of No Man's Sky.
Oh, okay.
Oh man,
which
biggest turnaround of any game. Yeah.
Like, yeah, the biggest comeback.
Dude, the biggest comeback. That game from day one to where it is now, it's almost not even remotely close to what launched.
Yeah. It's wild how different it is. But it's
in the proper way to do a space game. Lets you fly 1,000% off of the planet and onto the planet and like get out of your ship and walk around and get back to your ship. No cutscene, no fast traveling.
Although there was one, I ran into a glitch where I went back to my ship after I found it, and it was like in the ground.
Oh, really?
In the ground, and then I get in it and I just see dirt. Like,
interesting.
I
don't know that I've ran in it. I played a pretty good chunk of that game. I don't know that I ran into too many.
That was the only thing that I saw, but it's a very, very, very fun game.
Yeah, it's well put together now, dude. They dumped a lot. I mean, comeback of probably ever. Biggest comeback of a game ever that I've seen so far, at least.
I remember
that game was trash when it came out.
It had some major hype behind it too, though. Right?
It did. Huge hype.
And then it was a giant turd.
And now it's deserving of all of that hype for sure, because it's a very fun game.
So nice. You talking about No Man's Sky made me think of crafting and stuff. And I've been getting a lot into Audible lately, which is like a whole other side story. I signed up for a free trial to listen to
like Audible, the audiobook. Okay.
Yeah. Signed up for a free trial, listen to a book that was recommended to me. Did it, and then like that was when we knew that we were moving to Florida from Ohio. So with that came me knowing that I was going to be changing banks, because our bank in Ohio was like a regional franchise. They don't have them down here. So I'm like, we're changing banks. So the card that this is tied to isn't going to exist. So I don't need to like cancel it or anything, because they're going to try to charge it and it's not going to exist.
Yeah.
So whatever. So I didn't cancel. Well, the other day I was looking at the credit card statement, getting ready to pay my credit card bill. And I was like, what's this $15 charge at Audible? Well, it turns out Audible is like linked to Amazon. And they just like
so it just pulled it
charged
off of
my
there.
Amazon card. I was like,
So sneaky.
After seeing that, I was like, oh, well, I'll go cancel this now. And I went to cancel it, and I had 3 credits because with the membership, you get a credit a month or whatever. They're like, spend your credits before you cancel.
You have to, yeah.
So I did. I got a few books. The Hobbit, read by Andy Serkis. Amazing so far.
Great. Gotta be great.
I'm like 6 chapters in. I had to read it for school back in 8th grade. But listening to it read by Andy Serkis is like that's a whole other experience.
It's gotta be a great experience.
It's amazing. And then I got like Fellowship of the Ring, and then the first 2 books of the Heir to the Empire Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, great!
Wow.
Yes.
And I also got Screw Tape Letters, which was a really good book. Which that's way more than 3 credits, but some of them are free. Which was cool.
It's funny that you say that, because I went through a similar experience with Audible where I signed up for the free trial, and then I unfortunately didn't realize it on the first month or the second or third or fourth or fifth, and I ended up having 10 credits in there, and you have to spend the credits to keep the books, right? If you cancel, you lose all your credits, which I think personally is bullshit. Just saying, because I paid for those credits, so it's bullshit that they take them away. But I had to like go through and find 10 books so I could cancel this stupid subscription. So I bought, I got the entire Heir to the Empire trilogy. Nice. I got Shadows of the Empire on audiobook, which is like really super abridged, but really awesome. The Star Wars audiobooks are cool because they add in sound effects. A lot of them. I don't know if all of them do, but you hear like the lasers and the lightsabers and the, Darth Vader breathing and all that stuff. So it adds a cooler element to it.
Yeah.
And then I got like The Martian, and I got the Navy SEAL that shot Osama bin Laden has an audiobook or has a book, and then he has an audiobook that he read. I was like, that's cool that he read his own book.
Cool. Yeah.
It didn't end up panning out to be as cool. Like, you can tell he's a Navy SEAL and not an audiobook dude. You know what I mean? Like, he's like laughing at his own jokes that he put in the book. So not as cool as I wanted it to be, but
that's
still worth a listen, I guess.
That's awesome. I found out because I was talking to Fran, which she made an appearance on the podcast when we talked about Rings of Power. Go listen to that episode. Our local Tolkien expert. Was talking to her. I was like, oh yeah, so I'm listening to The Hobbit read by Andy Serkis, and we were talking about how amazing it is, whatever. I was like, man, he should totally do like the whole trilogy. And she's like, he did, you idiot. And I was like, what? So Lord of the Rings 1, 2, 3, they're all on Audible read by Andy Serkis.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Except I didn't know that until after I already spent all my credits. So the Fellowship of the Ring that I got was not read by Andy Serkis.
Oh, bummer.
But I don't know.
He's got a great voice, man.
Yeah,
dude,
perfect for reading.
voice.
And obviously he is the voice of Gollum, and I just got to the part in The Hobbit where Bilbo meets Gollum, and the way that there's a few videos, because he read these on a live stream, I think during COVID or whatever, and that's kind of what got the whole idea started. But there's clips of him reading the part between Bilbo and Gollum, and the way that he just flips that switch between the voices.
Yeah.
Dude, it is like watching a master work at his craft. It is so cool.
That's awesome.
And he does good voices for all the characters, but obviously, I mean, Gollum is like an iconic voice.
Yeah.
And just to like hear it from Gollum himself, it's just, and he just has a good voice, period. So it's a real treat listening to him read The Hobbit. But all that to say, I'm getting really excited for the Return to Moria game.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, Valheim, if you will. It can't come soon enough. I hope it comes soon because I want to play it really bad. I think I saw it's October maybe, but it's releasing it only on the Epic Games launcher, which is tragic.
Yeah.
So what? Why?
Type.
What's on Epic? Is Fortnite Epic?
Yeah.
Okay, this Return to Moria comes out October 24th on Epic. The Epic launcher is just like
Trash.
the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet version of like game launchers.
Epic is pretty terrible.
Yeah. But like Darkest Dungeon 2 also initially released exclusively on Epic and was on Epic for 3 to 6 months. That might be wrong, but a decent chunk of time before it came to Steam. So hopefully Return to Moria doesn't do that, but let's be real, I'm probably not going to buy it when it initially releases. Anyways, come on,
you'll get to it in years.
We know better than that.
Yeah, but yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm still on the Lord of the Rings kick, which is fun. Now it's bleeding over into audiobooks. But,
yeah, but that's cool. That's cool, man. I dig I don't listen to them as much as I used to, but I used to always listen to them when I was falling asleep. There's just something super chill about listening to an audiobook while you're slipping into sleep mode.
Right.
I don't do it nearly as much, and I think primarily it's because my dog sleeps up here with me, and he's chewed up like 3 pairs of AirPods. So I don't want to fall asleep with my AirPods in, because the little
Brady
fucker just has like, dude. Yeah, he's just got like and it's always been like, I never fall asleep with my AirPods in. Usually I take them out right before I fall asleep. But it's always the one time that it was like, at the time I was working till midnight at the fire department. So I'd come home at midnight, be exhausted, and I'd fall asleep with them in. And he would immediately pick it up and chew it to pieces. So it's like, no, I just make one freaking mistake and then he pounces on it.
No more AirPods.
Oh man. Yeah, I need to get back to watching the extended version of the trilogy. But I guess one last thing before we sign off here. This is really lame, but applies. I had to get a new Roku remote for our TV because our kids destroyed our last one. And I got one that has a headphone jack that you can plug headphones into the remote.
Oh, cool.
Which I don't really like wearing headphones very much. But with our new setup, like I also can't really blast the TV super loud at night whenever I watch TV.
Yeah.
And being able to plug my headphones into the
cool.
remote and just sit on the couch and just have like the Skull Crushers just
for sure
go into town has been pretty cool. But
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, glad to be back, guys. Thanks for holding down the fort while I was gone and moving 1,200 miles away. Who knows? Maybe Chad will join me down here sometime soon.
I hope that's in my future.
Yeah. Well,
I
guess Nick didn't make it tonight.
No, it's not looking great.
But yeah, make sure you guys tune in next week. Not sure what we're going to be talking about, so could be awesome. Could maybe not be awesome, but I'm going to lean towards it's going to be pretty awesome. Yeah, thanks for listening. Make sure you go subscribe here. Pokeboys Season 2 finale comes out tomorrow at noon, so be on the lookout for that. And go to our Patreon. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Peace out.
This episode is brought to you by Patreon. Visit patreon.com/showboyspodcast today to learn how you can help support the show and unlock exclusive perks like bonus content, the ability to help choose topics, and even a chance to appear on an episode. Head over to patreon.com/showboyspodcast today. So I can't like sprint to the bathroom after every episode.
He's too far away.
Oh man. Yeah, it's rough.